Okay, so if you're new to cookie decorating, let's talk a bit about flooding cookies. You're going to want to outline your cookie, and I'm using the same consistency for outlining and flooding. Here my icing is a little bit stiff. It's probably about a 15 to 20 second icing. And since it's on the stiffer side, if I wiggle my piping bag as I am flooding the cookie, it will help it settle down a bit. And also because it's stiffer, I can go all the way up to the outline and flood the cookie right next to the outline. You can see it's not readily settling down, so the more I wiggle my cookie as I am flooding it, the more it will start to settle down and less work I'll have to do with my scribe or my toothpick when I'm finished. But because this icing is stiffer, I do have to work with it with my scribe. It will settle down, but it will take a little bit longer. So you want to be mindful of that if you have a lot of cookies to flood. Another thing I'll touch on here is air bubbles. If you have any shadow little circles in your icing, that's probably an air bubble. And if you lay your scribe or your toothpick on its side and press down, you can usually bring that air bubble to the surface, and then you can smooth your icing again. I saw that tip on Cookie-a-thon, so make sure you sign up for that. It's a free cookie tutorial workshop that goes on twice a year. And you can find it if you Google Cookie-a-thon. So this is the look that you're going for. The flood is smooth, it's even across the top. You can give it a little shake and help it settle down if you need to, but that's what we're looking for. Now in this one I'm going to follow the same process, but I'm not going to put as much flood icing onto my cookie. My icing is a little bit thinner, so I'm going to use my scribe to bring the icing out to the edges. And you can see by not using enough icing, it's going to leave an uneven surface. I'm not going to really be able to get it smooth. So if as you're moving your scribe or your toothpick around, you easily touch the cookie with every swipe, you need to add a little bit more icing to your cookie. You want to add enough icing to your flood that it smooths out and becomes level. If you don't have enough icing, that won't happen. So I just went ahead and put my piping bag right back in the icing I already flooded, and I added more flood icing, and I'll smooth that out with my scribe. And again, this is what we're looking for, a nice smooth level top surface. And on this cookie, we'll see what happens when your flood consistency is too thin and your icing overflows the edges. So one thing, if your icing consistency is thin, you don't want to pipe all the way up next to the outline. You want to leave some room and use your scribe to pull the icing over to the outline. And you can see here that it's starting to overflow the outline, and so I'm going to use my scribe and kind of wipe it away and try to get it back in the outline. And if it's not too overfilled, you can do this. Actually, you can do it even if it is too overfilled. It's just going to be a lot of scraping as it continues to overflow the outline. But you can scrape off the excess and then use your scribe to smooth it out until it stops overflowing. But you might want to go back and add a teaspoon or two of powdered sugar to your icing and rebag it until you get the right consistency for a smooth flood that will work without it overflowing. That will save you a lot of time in the long run.